Guys, I'm going to explain associative using numbers, so pay a close attention. Right, what it means is that for a certain set to be associative under the operation, this is what it means. So you must know this, right? This is very important. You must know this. So if you don't know this is the only tool that you can use to show associative. So if you don't know this, you can never solve it, right? The arrangement matters very important here. So look at something. The first person operated by the second person all together by the third one must be equal to this. You see, so I'm combining the first two people. When I'm done, I'll combine that with the third person. So when I bring the first person out, then I combine that with the last two people. Is that okay? So arrangement matters over here. Okay, now let's continue. Assuming what this thing means that when I get here to be 1, then here also has to be 1, right? If the numbers are different, then it means that the operation is not associative. Is that okay? All right. Then look at something. I have a here. Assuming I have a to be 2, b is 1, and then c is equal to 3. We are going to show whether the operation is associative. So this is the binary operation being given to us. They say for us to combine two people. So right, first person combined by the second person, you multiply 2 by the first person, and then you add out to the second person. This is the operation being given to. So we are going to show whether this operation is associative. Right? Okay, so let's check that with these numbers. So for the left hand side, so this side is the left hand side, so I'm going to tackle the first part here. So let's check that. When you check that, you can see that you have what? A operation what? B or operation what? C. So that is A star B all together star what? C. So you know that bracket first, right? Bracket is the most important here. So the first part first, it tells you that you have A to be 2, and then B to be 1, and then C to be 3. So 2 star what? 1, right? The first person combined by the second person, all combined by what? The third person. So bracket first. So how can we combine these two guys? The way you combine these two guys, it has been given to you. It's okay. I'll say 2 multiplied by what? The first person plus what? The second person. Is that okay? Don't use A, B, C. If you use A, B, C, then you get confused along the roadside. Just use a person, right? So the first person combined by the second person. So here is it. So we are dealing with the bracket first. So 2. I'm doing this according to the operation being given to us, right? They say 2 multiplied by the first person plus what? The second person. So here 2 multiplied by the first person, which is 2 here, right? So 2 here multiplied by what? The first person, which is 2, plus the second person. This for what? This bracket. Is that okay? I'm not yet on the third part, right? So all operation what? The third person. Look at this. Don't change this into either addition or multiplication. We are not yet there. We are just dealing with the bracket. I don't know why some of you are changing this from addition to what? A multiplication. It's not accepted. This is operation. Look at what you are having here. There's an operation. It is neither addition or multiplication. So for the bracket, I've already combined that. So now let's move on to the outer. So the answer that you get here, use that one to combine with what? The third person, right? So check that. Now for this bracket, consider this multiplied by that one will give me 4 plus 1. That will be 5, right? 5 operation, the third person. It's neither addition or multiplication. Is that okay? It's operation. So whatever you get here, use that answer to operate with what? The third person. So let's check that. So here I'm having what? 5 star what? 3, right? So here from here, how are two people being combined? They are combined by the operation. They say 2 multiplied by the first person plus what? The second person. Is that okay? The same procedure. So after solving for the first bracket, you use that answer to operate it with what? The third person. Is that okay? So these are the two people that I'm dealing with. So they say the operation says that 2 multiplied by the first person, which is 5 here. So 2 multiplied by 5 plus the second person, which is 3. Is that okay? So this one will give me 10 plus what? 3. That will be 13 for the first. Is that okay? So your problem is on the second part. Here, this portion here. Here you deal with the bracket first nicely. Make sure that you are going to use that answer to combine with what? The third person. That is how you solve this problem, right? So when you are done with that, then you move on to what? The right hand side. So that one to bracket first. right? So this is the right hand side. You know that the first person comes out, and then we deal with what, the last two people. So we solve the bracket. The bracket first, that one, the bracket gives me what? I'm not doing anything to the first person. Can you see that? The operations are here, so you are not doing anything to that. So with the bracket, they say you should combine two guys by what? Multiplying 2 by the first person. So 2 multiplied by 1 plus what? Plus 3, which is the second guy here in the bracket. Right? You are just dealing with the bracket, just two people, the first two people or the last two people here. Then when you are done, whatever you get here, you use the answer to combine with what? The first person, right? So let's check that. So you are going to use 2 multiplied by whatever is in the bracket. So 2 operation is neither addition or multiplication. Operation, whatever you got in the bracket, right? How are this? Just two people. Don't be confused. The thing is more than 3 or more than 5. Even just go step by step, right? So here I'm having two operation that. So how are these two guys being combined? So that will be 2 multiplied by the first person plus the second person. This one gives me 9. So if this one gives me 9, then here gives me 13. You can share, you can maybe testify that the operation is not associative, right? Because the two guys, this and that one, has to be equal, right? In this case they are not, so you can conclude that the operation is not associative. Is that okay? Now let's check the question that I gave you guys. So now let's look at something. So here is a question. You are giving the operation to be you are giving the operation to be a operation b is equal to a plus b all over ab, right? This is what you are giving. Is that okay? So let's just change this one to the operation sign. Right? This is what you are giving. So dealing with what? The left hand side here, the left hand side, this is what I'm saying by the left hand side. So the left hand side will go a operation b. So a operation b will give me a they say the first person plus, okay, let me write this thing so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. This is what you are having for. So for the bracket part, that will give me how are these two guys combined. They are combined by that, so that is straight for a plus b all over what? AB. This is just for the bracket. Operation C is neither addition or multiplication. Can you see? Right? That is the first one. So after you've combined, these guys becomes 1. Can you see? These guys become, so you are going to use this one, operate by what? The second person or the third person here. Is that okay? So how are they combined? How are these two guys combined? Don't let this guy the number. That's why I'm saying that don't use A, B, C, and then just say the first person and the second person. So this guy become the first person. This one also become the second person, right? So after solving from here, these guys become 1. So we are going to use this one as the first person and combine that with the second person here. Is that okay? How are they combined? So they are combined by, look at what is happening. They say the first person plus the second person all over multiplication of the 2. So who is the first person in this case, right? Who is the first person? Everything here is the first person. Everything in the bracket, any answer that you got in the first bracket is what? The first person. So that one will give me what? A plus B, right? All over AB, which is the first person, right? Plus the second person. That is what the operation is telling us. Plus the second. So the second person in this case is what? C, right? So C, everything over what? The first person multiplied by what? The second person. Who is the first person? That is A plus B all over what? AB, right? And multiplied by what? The second person, which is C here. So that one multiplied by what? C. Is that okay? This is the arrangement, right? This is how you solve the problem. So you solve them one by one. The top here is what? Fraction. Is that okay? So you solve the top by fraction. So this one you find the SCM. SCM will be what? AB. Is that okay? SCM will be AB. Then you continue from that point. SCM will be AB. Just the top one, AB. That one will give me what? A plus B for the first part, and then plus what? This one will give me AB all multiplied by C. Can you see? This is for the first, the top one. Then here the down one will be what? Then you expand the bracket. You multiply that by that. That will give me what? AC. Comment down below. Comment. Just try that. If you still have a problem, then I'll solve everything for you and leave the link on the channel. So thank you.